Hello, everyone, and welcome to part two of our countdown to Bruce Springsteen's best cover song. We hope you're having a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Joining me again is Tim, Ed, Henrick, Jaclyn, Steve, and our host, Chris. If you have not listened to the first episode, you can finish this one and then go back and look at the listen to the first one. But we basically started with right around 100 of Bruce Springsteen's best known cover songs, and we are working down tournament style to his top cover song. So we are in round two. Take it away, Chris.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Down to 64 songs now. First match is Raise Your Hand or Sweet Soul Music. Raise your hand.
Raise your hand for
You mean literally?
Raise your hand.
Okay.
Yes, raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
hand.
Okay, so everyone apart from Henrick going for Raise Your Hand.
Though I do love some Sweet Soul Music. That's a
Yeah.
great song.
It is.
It is.
Okay, second, Traveling Band or My Oklahoma Home. Traveling Band. Tim, Henrick, and Steve, and then My Oklahoma Home. Jesse, Ed, and Jaclyn. So I have to. I'll go with My Oklahoma Home. The second time I've had to choose it as a
Yeah, that is.
tie break. Okay. Only the strong survive or not fade away. Only the strong survive.
Go with that.
Ed and Jaclyn. So everyone else for not fade away.
Yes.
Yes.
How can a poor man stand such times and live, or we shall overcome? So how can a poor man stand such times and live? Jesse, Henrick, Steve, and Ed. So it's 4-2.
I love that version in Dublin.
Yeah. Okay. Detroit medley or All the Way Home? Detroit medley. Okay. 6-0.
Sorry, all the way home, but it's time for you to go home.
Yeah, when you're up against that song, it's
in the contention. If I had written, and Steve probably did, what I think will be top four, I think it would have been on the top four. So yeah.
I agree. So I'm going to save my story for later on.
Okay.
Chimes of Freedom or Pretty Flamingo? Chimes of Freedom.
Oh, wait, no.
Henrick, Jaclyn. There's only 2 for Chimes of Freedom. And then Pretty Flamingo.
Yeah, I'll take the Manfred Man.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a Manfred Man song.
They did a version of it.
They people think it's their song. That's my big bugaboo.
Yeah.
Well, they did a version of it, and that was the biggest charting version.
Correct.
Of the song.
You're right. Yeah, you're right about that.
It's like Springsteen. Everybody thinks, "Oh, Fire is the cover." No, it's not. He wrote it, but yeah. Just because the Pointers, I don't know. I like Pretty Flamingo, and I like their version. So
yeah.
Okay. War or Jesse James? War.
What is it good for? Absolutely
nothing.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's unanimous.
I just can remember hearing that from the box set and was just amazed at how well they do
such a great version.
Yeah.
Okay, and
War hasn't gotten any better since then. So
yeah,
it's still very much needed an anti-war song.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just as relevant today as it was then. Okay. Santa Claus is coming to town or Royals? Santa Claus.
Yeah.
As much as I hate Christmas songs, I have to vote for this one.
And we
And
do
I-
need to we do
It's
need to know if
despise
everybody's been good
Christmas
out
songs.
there.
Yes,
It's
we do.
it's impossible for Bruce to own that song, but he almost does. He does such a great
Mhm.
version of it.
It's a public domain song.
Yeah.
Bruce owns that song.
Yeah.
He didn't write it, but he owns it.
Yeah, I just had someone on the podcast that talked about his first show was like in September, and they played Santa Claus Was Coming to Town, and he did not realize, he just thought, oh, that was kind of cool, and didn't realize, that getting it during off season, how, cool that was. Of course, Bruce will pull it out in July sometimes.
He did it. He did it at MetLife Stadium in August, I think. One of those River Tour closing
Yeah.
shows. Somebody put a sign up, and he just did it.
Yeah.
I've seen him do it in Finland in June, I think, because somebody claimed that Santa Claus is from Finland.
Oh, nice. Good.
Well, he is, isn't he?
He's fictitious. You can claim whatever you want.
There we go.
I actually only think people in Finland claims he's from Finland, but
I gotcha.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey Western Union Man or It's My Life? Hey Western Union Man.
I'm gonna put my hand down for that. Yeah.
Oh, so that's Jesse, Ed, and Jaclyn. So It's My Life.
Yeah.
Tim, Henrick, and Steve. So I've got to choose again.
So while you're thinking, I did not know, I had never heard Hey Western Union Man before the covers album. And so it's such a outdated song, because when is the last time anyone got a telegram? But I just love that song. So yeah.
It's one of my faves on the album.
Yeah, it's a fun song. But again, like you said, it's completely dated. It's like there's a Garth Brooks song where he mentions sending a fax. I'm like, really, Garth? That you knew that wasn't gonna look
Yeah, exactly.
wasn't gonna age well.
All right, and I'll do a quick pitch for It's My Life.
Please.
If it's the song that Bruce feels encapsulated his early life and his fights with his dad. It's my life. I'll do what I want. It's, that's the song that he rolled out as a cover in so many of those early shows, because that's what he was feeling. That,
yeah,
it's okay. As good of a song as Western Union Man might be, think about what It's My Life meant to Bruce and why he kept playing it. Because if you go back and look at those early set lists, that was a standard, and there was a reason he was playing it. And that's where it's like Western Union Men may be good. It doesn't mean as much to Bruce as It's My Life. And, that's where I'm going with It's My Life.
You know what? You talked me into it. I'm going to switch my vote. That's a very strong case.
So I think I would have gone for it. So because it's such a powerful title. It's and every song there's the talk song. It's My Life, and Dr. Alban had a song called "It's My Life," and it's a very powerful title, or for any song. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to switch my vote too. Well done.
So there's 5-1 now. Yeah. Okay. Who'll Stop the Rain or I Fought the Law? Who'll Stop the Rain?
On a medley of Who'll Stop the Law as I Fight the Rain.
Tim, Henrick, and Jaclyn for Who'll Stop the Rain, and I Fought the Law. Jesse, Ed, and Steve.
But I will be happy with either one. These are really two classic.
I'll go for Who Stopped the Rain, because when I saw Bruce for the one and only time in Johannesburg, 2014, he sang that. He kind of dedicated it to Nelson Mandela, And also it had been raining, and maybe it's just my mind, my mind connecting the two, but I'm sure it stopped raining about the same time as he sang that. So in my mind, it stopped raining then.
So,
Maybe it didn't. Maybe it was before.
Sylvan, my co-host of the John Hyatt podcast, was at Jazz Fest this few weeks ago, and it had been raining all day. And when John Hyatt went on stage, it stopped raining right before, and he did an audible and added "It Feels Like Rain," on the set list. Then it was just really appropriate. And I told him the story about Bruce will often, if it's raining, we'll pull out "Who Will Stop the Rain." So yeah, great choice.
Yeah, I saw the Stones a few years back in Chicago, and it had been raining off and on all night. And Nick comes out and starts. They do an acoustic set, and he did Angie. And as I swear to God, as soon as he said, "When will the clouds all disappear?" they did. It never rained another drop the rest of the day. So, I think rock stars are pretty much vampires anyway, and pseudo gods. And when you can control the weather,
Pretty awesome.
it's pretty cool.
I wish that John Fogerty would get a Nobel for his songwriting, but that's just me, I guess.
I loved Fogerty,
Yeah,
and he's
exactly.
amazing. I'm glad he finally got his songs back,
Yeah, me too.
and I hope he comes back on tour.
Me too.
I've only seen him 6 times, and I would see him
I
again.
think he is doing some shows, but I don't know if he's doing a big tour.
Mrs. McGrath or Oh Boy? Mrs. McGrath? Only one, only Ed.
Really? Okay. Well, I guess that Buddy Holly thing again. Yeah.
Yeah, Buddy Holly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone
Okay.
else going for Oh Boy. I think Mrs. McGrath's a brilliant song.
I think it's
That's
beautiful. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, it is.
It's a great folk song.
right. Trapped or Drift Away?
Oh, this is so hard.
Trapped.
Trap.
I'm going to
not
give
that hard.
Trap some
It's
love.
not
even
that
though I
hard.
always talk bad about it, but yes.
It's a
60
shame to
points.
lose Drift Away, but it's not a hard
no.
one.
Yeah,
Trapped is the best.
I love Drift Away, but that's not hard.
Yeah. No.
No.
Hard for
It's-
me because I love them both.
Yeah.
Jacob's Ladder or Boom Boom? Jacob's Ladder. Jesse, Tim, and Ed. Boom Boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
I think I'm going for Jacob's Ladder because of that Live in Dublin album.
Oh yeah.
I just
Live in Dublin
love-
DVD is one of my favorites.
I just love the versions of all the songs on that. So
Absolutely.
okay, Night Shift or High Hopes? Night Shift. Oh, Tim, Ed, and Henrick. High Hopes.
Man, we just keep splitting, don't we?
Okay, I'm going for Night Shift because
just-
it's. And
I got a comment on that, but I'll save it for a little bit.
I know, but probably most of us can remember the Commodore's version, and it's quite, it's quite a well-known song anyway.
It was their first big song after Lionel left. So
But I think Bruce just does a brilliant version. I think it's the best song on that album.
And it's the only song so far that it's been consistent from the new album that's stayed on the set list.
yes.
Yeah. It really fits into the set list to the theme of the whole.
Yeah, the whole missing
theme
people.
Yeah.
Everything. Reminiscing about lost bandmates and things of that nature. So yeah, it works perfect.
I think over time it'll become more of he'll own it more, if you know what I mean, in terms of its significance to his legacy, I guess.
I
Yeah.
think so.
But yeah, I think I think you guys hit it on the head with the tour. I think that is the message of the tour, is he's older now and he's reflecting on the people he misses and the influences that
I think that's why the set list doesn't change so much, because it's almost like Springsteen on Broadway in a sense. There's a definite progression there, and
he's telling a story using 28, 29, whatever songs. And yes, the set list is fairly static, but every night he comes out to tell his story and reflect on people who have meant the world to him and are no longer around, or things of that nature, and reflecting on everything. So I think the people who gripe about, oh, the set list is boring now. Well, have you seen every show on it?
Right.
Have you gone to every single tour stop? I've seen 3, and I wasn't bored in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And
I wasn't either. And I talked about this on Twitter because I understand being disappointed that he normally changes the set list. And so you bought 8 tickets over the European show, which I definitely think is a first world problem, but I understand you being disappointed. But what upsets me, and it shouldn't, but I take it personal, is they seem that Bruce is doing something to them. Like he is deliberately effing them over by not changing the set list.
But that stemmed from the prices.
Yes, I guess so. But just this anger, like how dare he not change up the set list? He set that expectation, and now then he's screwed us. And I'm like, okay, I get it, being disappointed. And I absolutely agree that if I had pre-bought the US tour or the European tour Nugs release, I would be going to them, I want my money back. Because I would not be buying these set lists if they're 99%.
I wouldn't be buying the
same.
set lists for every show, but of the shows that I saw, I love the consistency.
Oh yeah, I did too. Yeah, and I'm going in Columbus, and I'm trying to figure out a way to go to a 5th show.
Yeah, I had avoided listening to the concerts on Sirius XM because they were broadcasting them, until I went to the concert and saw it live for the first time, because I wanted that experience to be fresh, because I realized that it was a set list, for a change with Bruce, which is very different than before. But I go back and see it again without hesitation, now that I've had that fresh experience. Now I want to see it again. I do.
Exactly. And so, yeah, I think it's just it's completely goofy, thinking that he owes you anything. He puts on, he's 73 years old. The rest of the band, other than Jake, is in their 70s as well. And they put on a show that any 30-year-old would sell their mortal soul to be able to deliver. And it's a 3-hour show every night that just, there's nobody else in the world who can deliver that. And so if you can't be grateful for the fact that you are seeing absolutely one of the most amazing live performances in the history of music, then I don't know what that says about you.
But then that brings it to the discussion of how people look to public figures as a quote fix, or as a savior, or
I look to Bruce as a savior.
Yeah,
I worship him.
I'm saying like the expectation that he had set in so many years, and then he changes it. It's like when you're a public figure, you don't get to express your opinion because you will upset your fans, and
that's what I love about Bruce.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Well,
he's very public in his. I mean, you go to any comment section on any Springsteen story, and there's 25 people. I love his music, but I can't stand his politics. And I've never once heard his politics expressed from stage. The closest he gets is saying, "Hey, drop some money in the food bank bucket to help our local friends and neighbors." That's it. I mean, he doesn't.
And I think a lot of the set list controversy comes from them not catering to hardcore fans who see multiple shows.
Well, and also the ticket prices, because his fan base is blue collar.
I wonder, and I know that okay, we could sign up for verified fan, and okay, Jesse got Dallas and Austin and Houston, and I got Dallas and Tulsa, and everybody got their couple of shows that they could buy. They know how many people are buying from out of market, so they know how many people are going to see other shows. I bet
it's got to be a very small percentage.
Yes, I would say of the 18,000 people in the American Airlines Center in Dallas, the vast majority of them were seeing one show.
15 to
are not
16,000 people were seeing that story presented, only that show.
Right.
And they were.
And so my question for, Bruce or Landau or whoever it is, do they start rolling out a lot of, audibles and set list changes for that 1,000 people per show? Maybe. And I think 1,000 per show is high,
maybe
for those people that are seeing multiple shows.
Right.
No, they're doing that show for Chris, who's in Johannesburg and has seen him one time.
Right.
They're going on that theory.
They're telling that story,
right,
specific to that.
And they don't care that, Jesse's on his 5th show this tour, or 4th show, whatever it is.
I have a feeling when they come back from,
they're willing to take his money, but they're not changing the set list because, well, you've seen Backstreets 4 times, so now we'll throw in whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Now we'll do a cool version of Froggy Gone to Court or whatever.
We're going to take out Born to Run and play Pony Boy.
Yeah.
You guys wanted set list changes? Okay, Pony Boy's in, and everybody's going to be going, whoa, 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 not that change.
And the question,
if you think about it, though, he sold his catalog to Sony, right? And usually when musicians sell their catalog, that means that they're done proving their point. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, I want to control my work, my baby, my blood, sweat, and tears. And it's like a point of retirement in a sense when they sell their work. And
he's been out there for 50 years. He doesn't have to prove anything to anybody.
Exactly.
And
so he has wrapped up that part of his life of trying to prove his point and maintain control of everything. And I think that is part of the reason why he doesn't care about the prices, because he's like kind of retired now. He's enjoying himself and he's doing what he wants to do rather than worrying about
need the money.
prices.
He doesn't need the money for the ticket prices, and he enjoys doing it. And as long as we have people who enjoy doing it, I will go see them. And he's not doing it because he needs to. Yeah. I don't know. I think a lot of the fan criticism in this last tour has been unseemly.
I think it really boils down to how human beings need to stop praising public figures as much as they do, because as soon as you show your human side, people will literally send you death messages to your private message. And it just goes to show that people don't believe in themselves. They need a leader to believe in, and it's unhealthy. So
I don't disagree.
Gripe and complain about a set list, then don't buy multiple tickets again. Sell your tickets that you have left. You can't please everybody.
And not to bring us down, but last week, 2 weeks ago, this horrible shooting in Allen, Texas. And I promised listeners we're going to get back to debating minutia and covers. But, I was seeing all this uproar about who got into the Hall of Fame and who didn't. And I absolutely agree that the people that didn't get in deserve to be in. But I also think that the people got in, like Kate Bush and Willie Nelson, deserve to be in. And there's all this debate on set list, and I'm going in, and we had young people killed in Allen, Texas.
Yeah.
It just seems like we're wasting our energy arguing on the wrong things.
Yeah, and
to bring us down.
That shooting that happened there, that was 10 minutes from my parents' house when I was a teenager. And I just feel like, it's it's a big systematic problem because the owners of these music companies, PR companies, the media, all this, it's a giant machine that you as an artist are constantly having to juggle, and then you've got your fan base. So the public figure wants to please the fans because they're the ones that give them the money, right? So at this point, I think Bruce is just like, you know what, I'm wrapped up this part of my life. I'm gonna kick back and enjoy myself now, and the people who really want to see me will come. And yeah, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
He's given us a hell of a show.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right. Back to our debate. Thank you. That was a fun little.
Back
I made
to our
a note.
regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, back to our regularly scheduled program.
What were we doing?
I didn't even know how we got on this topic.
Night shift.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
night shift.
Yes.
Night shift.
All right. Go ahead, Chris. I think we're on to Rave On and London Calling.
Yeah. Okay. So Rave On, Buddy Holly, or The Clash, London Calling. Rave On. So it's Jesse, Henrick. Okay, Jesse, Tim, Henrick, and Jaclyn for Rave On. So that's the Clash out of.
Boy, but that is a good cover.
Yes,
that
it is.
DVD, you know. Yeah.
Okay, another big hitter now. Jersey Girl or Highway 61 Revisited. Jersey Girl.
I said I wasn't going to ever vote against Bob Dylan, but I'm voting against Bob Dylan.
Well, and so you guys talked about earlier, right? Like Trapped, like Dream Baby Dream, he's taken someone else's song and made it his song. I mean,
it's Jersey Girl is absolutely a Springsteen song,
and it's quite like I listened to some Tom Waits stuff. Not all of it's my cup of tea, but it's like Jersey Girl is a pretty obscure song of his, you know. I don't even remember what album it's on, but you sort of have to hunt to find it. Okay, so it's Jersey Girl through. The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore, or Viva Las Vegas.
I love that on my phone that it just says SHI, and it's like, oh, the sun ain't gonna what?
Yeah. Isn't going to do number 2.
Yeah, it does say that. She. S-H-I, she.
Okay, the sun ain't gonna shine anymore.
Yeah.
That one's my favorite on the new album.
So who's voting for it? No one. So everyone voting for Elvis.
Yep.
Elvis.
Yep.
Okay. Going back, or I don't want to go home. Going back. Another 0. I don't want to go home.
That's weird.
Oh yeah, that's got to stay. That's got to
Two
last a while.
6-0s.
Yeah,
that's got to last
Two
a while.
6-0s back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the.
Okay, sure.
Talk about Sophie's Choice, right?
The purple one against the thin white Duke. Purple Rain against Rebel. Purple Rain.
So hard. This is so hard.
It is.
So
Neil's guitar on that.
Yeah, that's the reason.
And
as
and
far
I think
as it can, I mean, again, no disrespect whatsoever to David Bowie or to this cover, but Purple Rain is it's a Neil signature moment, and a Bruce signature moment in this version.
When that band came out, everyone wearing some shade of purple, and you could tell they had practiced, they had rehearsed, they released the video and the download for free. It was, once again, we were talking about that, you know, it became bigger than just for Springsteen fans. So yeah, I would vote for Purple Rain.
Yeah, the emotion is palpable on that song. There's such a shock when Prince died. I mean, Bowie too, but when Prince died, it was such a huge shock and a huge loss, and you could just feel the emotion in that performance just pour. And Neil's, you know,
Yeah.
bless
Mills.
him. Something,
Mills
yeah.
is my favorite guitarist, so I vote for Purple Rain, even though David
Yeah.
Bowie's in my
Yeah.
top 5.
Yeah.
So how many for Purple Rain?
Yeah. I think it's unanimous.
6-0. Okay.
Yeah, it's still a hard choice, but for me, it's less hard because that version of Purple Rain, there's very seldom that you can hear and feel emotion in a recorded song. And this one, absolutely, you can hear it, even if you didn't watch the video.
I agree.
Hey, Erie Canal or Merry Christmas Baby? Erie Canal. Only one. No.
No bridge.
You know what's funny is my favorite Christmas song is not the traditional one. It really is Merry Christmas Baby, like out of all Christmas songs.
So only Tim's going for Erie Canal.
Yeah.
Just can't vote for a Christmas song.
I
It's
get
hard.
you.
But Erie Canal, I think, that live in Dublin, that's probably my favorite song on
It's a
that
good song.
album.
Yeah.
It's not, again, not a huge loss from this list. So
Okay. Twist and Shout or Stay? Twist and Shout.
Yeah. I love
Okay.
Stay.
So Jesse, Tim, Henrick, and Steve. A cover of a cover.
Yep.
I gotta say, I think I don't like his version of Twist and Shout just because the Beatles version with John Lennon's vocals on that song are so perfect, and it's so much a Beatles song. It's when I hear it, it's so not a Bruce song. So
Agreed.
that's why I'm leaning towards Stay. You know,
I get you.
I agree there as well. It's just, it can't, the Beatles version can't be surpassed, really, can it? Okay. Nelson Mandela or Love Me Tender? Nelson Mandela.
I feel bad that I should
I
vote
feel
for
bad.
Nelson Mandela just
how do you
because
vote
you're
against
on here,
Nelson
Chris.
Mandela?
Yeah, jeez.
We're not voting against the person.
I've only
Oh.
voted. I've only voted once in my life because I'm not a South African citizen. I'm a permanent resident. But in the first democratic elections, permanent residents were allowed to vote because I'm still a British citizen. So he's the only person I've ever voted for.
Oh, interesting.
Well, now you're making me feel bad for not voting for him, but I'm still not voting for him.
Yes.
So everyone's going for
Love Me Tender. Yeah.
Elvis over
Great, so, yeah.
specials.
Yes.
Although every time I hear free Nelson Mandela, I think, what's the usual cost of Nelson Mandela?
I have a question for all you. Because we know Lisa Marie Presley recently passed away. What do you guys think of Priscilla and the granddaughter Riley having to settle for the money?
I don't think it's about money. I think it's about the control of Graceland and the trust and everything. And in that case, I would 100%. Nobody's going to be hurting for money, but they need to keep the control of the trust and Graceland in a centralized place. So,
and how do you feel about Priscilla wanting to be buried next to Elvis, even though it would require moving graves?
tell her that she will when she dies and figure it out.
Yeah, no, you should tell her now, and then later, like, okay, what, she's gonna die.
Right.
Yeah, she'll be dead.
Yeah.
She won't care.
My argument, only hamsters get buried in the backyard. Move them to a real cemetery.
I don't disagree with that, but it is pretty cool to come around that corner and see the graves there at Graceland. Graceland's amazing. The other part is completely cheesy. It's like Niagara Falls, but Graceland is something.
Do you think at Priscilla's age, is it necessary for her to take her granddaughter who's grieving over her mother to meet a lawyer?
Honestly, that's rich people's problem. I don't care. They'll figure it all out.
I will tell you,
Elvis's legacy secure. I don't really care.
I tell you what, Kaylee right? Is that how you say the name? She was
Riley.
amazing in Daisy Jones and the Six.
Riley, I think her name's Riley
Riley, again, yeah.
or something.
Yeah, she's really, really good.
Yeah. Now I don't
Thank you
involve
for that.
myself too much in problems like that, but I do want to make sure Elvis is taken care of and
Good.
not exploited more than he already is.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Dream Baby Dream, or I Wish It Would Rain. Dream Baby Dream.
One of my favorite
Jesse,
songs.
Tim, Henrik, Steve, Jaclyn.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that.
Ed's going for I Wish It Would Rain.
Yeah, I don't like Dream Baby Dream. I just don't. I don't know.
Oh,
It's okay.
Okay.
It's a safe place.
I know.
And I
You
wish
can't
it's
be
the
any
best.
more wrong than me not liking Jungleland. So there you go.
We've already
Ro-
discussed that.
Someday I gotta talk to you about that.
I know.
right. Rhinestone Cowboy or Soul Days? Rhinestone Cowboys. Okay, 6.
I am on the record that in a better time, when radio was different, that would have been a top 10 country music hit.
I don't
And I think
disagree at all.
the country music DJs would go crazy playing this, but it's just not what radio is nowadays.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I know Bruce.
And
just did
I
a
can
soul cover.
confirm that.
I would love
Yeah.
to see Bruce do a country or a rockabilly album, because I know he has one of those, at least one of those out in him.
Right. I mean, don't you agree, Steve? I mean, you do this for a living, right? I think during the time, I think the country stations would have played that, and it would have been a hit.
Yeah, but I mean, the problem now is that everything is so researched and market tested and, quantified, and, that people can't take the chance of, hey, I'm going to roll this out. This is an odd duck that doesn't quite fit. It's not a round peg in a round hole, and they're not going to take a chance and play a Springsteen tune.
Well, look at how
When-
huge Darius Rucker's version of Wagon Wheel was a few years back. That wasn't one that anybody would have thought, but again, it wouldn't have happened now because it doesn't.
No, but like Darius is working country radio, where they're
Yes.
working to pitch that to country radio, which then makes it okay for some corporate suit to okay that it gets played on, these stations or whatever, where it's getting played on some country radio. It may not be getting played a lot, but it's getting some play because he has moved from pop to country, and he's shown
Yes.
up at the ACMs or the CMAs or whatever. He's moved into the country field. Just, you're not going to, if, name a band that if were to suddenly come out with a, okay,
Yeah,
I'm looking
if
at some Counting
Metallica all of
Crows
a sudden-
albums. If Counting Crows were to suddenly come out with a really country song, it
Yeah.
wouldn't matter. Country radio is not going to play
Right.
it. And
Well,
I
because-
love
Metallica's
country
not gonna
radio.
do
because Counting
version of
Crows
Little
is like
Purple Breed
30
Broken.
years ago. It only works for people in the present, like Taylor Swift switching from country to pop, or Dolly Parton switching from country to rock. It's only like current huge sellers.
But a lot of Bruce's stuff has a sort of bit of a country tinge to it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
There's quite a lot of songs. So
Yeah, and-
I think it'd be easy for him to go full country.
Absolutely.
I feel like Western Stars, that whole album was his country.
I agree. And it was damn good.
It was
Oh.
good.
Okay. Old Dan Tucker, Mountain of Love. Old Dan Tucker.
Let me take my hands off
Henrick?
the screen.
Only Henrik for Old Dan Tucker. And everyone else for Mountain of Love.
Yes.
Remember when my daughter was young and we came across a YouTube video of Barney singing Old Dan Tucker. But I still like it, despite seeing that. Staying Alive with Jolie Blonde.
So, not as much anymore, but there used to be a time when during the presidential election, and you were doing you would have the Republican convention, the Democrat convention, and they would do the voice vote and they would say, I'm going to vote on this first round for blank's native son, John Smith, with the understanding that the next round you would give your support to the nominee. I'm doing my lone vote to Jolie Blah just in honor of how much I love that song, knowing Staying Alive is the right choice.
Okay, so Staying Alive.
No.
Tim. I need Tim. That,
Yeah,
you know,
I love the Bee Gees, but yeah.
Really, I
But it's a
love that version.
But
Yeah,
again,
it's a great
it's a
version.
Bee
It's a great
Gees
version.
song.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
but
a
that,
Bee
that,
Gees song.
that Brisbane show, that is, you know, it's probably one of his top 10 shows, arguably. You know, there's obviously a lot of shows, but you know, it's like a top 10 show probably of all time. And when you hear that, you just know it's going to be, they're going to have a good night there. It was just, you know, such a fantastic concert to listen to. But anyway, okay, so 1-5 for Jolie
Right,
Blonde.
Jolie Blanc lives. Yes,
And you don't have to say "see you later, McNeese State."
that's it. Thank you, Steve.
It's an inside joke for the two of us. And George Dunham, who's wherever he is.
Yes.
This land is your land, or your love keeps lifting me higher and higher. This land is your land. Jesse, Tim, Jaclyn, your love keeps lifting me higher and higher. Ed,
I'm a little
Steve, and
surprised
Henrick.
that this one split.
I am too.
I'm going to go with This Land Is Your Land because, again, it was sort of quite an iconic song from the live 75 to 85, which was one of my first Springsteen
Yes.
albums. And it sort of fitted in well with the narrative he was sort of spinning at that time. So I'm going to go for Woody Guthrie. Okay. There's another song that's probably caused the most contention on the latest tour. Pay Me My Money Down, or When She Was My Girl. Pay Me My Money Down. Okay, so that's 6-0.
Yeah. I do not think that Bruce is deliberately doing FU. I just think it's a great song and with the great horns, and it's a fun song.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, so I don't want to go into this, but it's like people on Twitter that's, you know, behaving like he reads every Twitter post about him, you know.
He does.
Yeah, you know, maybe. What becomes of the broken-hearted? Do I love you? Indeed I do. What becomes of the broken-hearted? Henrick, Jaclyn, and Steve. And so, do I love you?
It's all Chris again. Chris should just make the picks, I think.
Oh, this is difficult though, because
Yeah. I could have flipped either way on this one.
Because they're both.
I really love What Becomes of the Broken Hearted. I was really looking forward to this album when it was on, and I was a bit disappointed in his version of it.
I like the roughened version better.
Yeah,
It's still. Oh, this is difficult because it's still a very good.
But Do I Love You on the hearing it live a couple times, amazing version.
I'm going to go with What Becomes of the Broken Hearted because.
Okay.
Just because. Sun City, just like Firewood. Sun City.
Yeah.
I like just like the Firewood, and you could make the argument Sun City is Steven's song.
It is
more than it is Bruce song.
But he did sing it at one of the Cape Town shows
yeah.
So
South Africa's having a bad day today, huh?
Yeah. So only Jesse and Tim for Sun City.
I like the version, but it's just like Firewood would probably get my vote on any other song other than this one.
Shout or This Little Light of Mine? Shout. Tim.
Although that song, in hearing it in concert, it does make me
Ed.
sad because I know that the show's almost over.
Ed, you.
I take
did you-
Shout, yeah.
Shout. Okay, and This Little Light of Mine? Sure.
No
So
pressure,
back to
Chris.
Chris.
Just
Yeah, so
you're making every decision, but no pressure.
Yeah, when Chris, my son, went to his first show, we were in Oklahoma City, and on the way home the next morning, he was like, "What's the deal with Shout? Is it a junior high dance? Why is Bruce playing that song?" And so I always think of that.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to gator?
Yeah,
I'd actually, I wouldn't say get annoyed, but more tired of the sort of the covers that get continuously played at the end of shows. I'd rather listen to a Springsteen song than listen to Shout or Twist and Shout again. So I'm going to go for This Little Light of Mine because I just like the live in Dublin version,
Yeah,
the
no,
arrangement.
it's a great version.
Quite fun.
It almost reminds me of sort of the Blues Brothers in the church or cathedral. When
Yeah.
I don't know what they're singing in that, but I don't know. It just reminds me of that.
And Shout's not, I mean, can it really be a cover song when it's not even a real band? So
2:45 or Oh Mary, Don't You Weep? 2:45.
2:45.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2:45.
Okay, so it's Jesse, Tim, and Henrick with 14:45, and Oh Mary, Don't You Weep.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Ed
All right, sorry, Chris.
and Steve. What was Steve?
2:45.
Mm.
Okay, so it's 4-2 to
Okay, good.
2:45. Okay, I think that's the end of that round. So we're down to the last. How many are we
now
down
we start
to?
getting some serious
Uh,
competition in here.
1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4.
I'm
are
so
we?
serious.
Hold on, no. Okay, we're down to the last
Sweet 16.
16, I think.
Well,
Or
16
32.
brackets.
16
Yeah, you know-
brackets. Last 32.
So
You know,
32
guys,
songs.
I have to go. So, but I enjoyed this very much. But I think this might make it a little easier in terms of the voting. It might take a little bit of the pressure off of Chris for a
Do
while.
you
No
want
problem.
Do
Yeah.
you want to put in the chat what your selections are for if you have the link open, you can see which
No,
songs.
thank you for that thought. No, I'll let you guys. I'll let you
Okay.
take hold
Ed,
of that.
thank you
Because
so much for
very
joining
often
us.
you-
We appreciate it.
Thanks. Very often the discussion helps me make my decision. So I think this has been a lot of fun. So thanks for letting me in. Okay.
No problem. Thank you, my friend.
Look
All right.
forward to hearing your outcome.
All right, sounds great. Good.
Okay, thanks, Brody.
Okay.
Let's see.
Bye, Ed.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, raise your hand or My Oklahoma Home? Raise your
Raise.
hand.
Yeah, raise your hand. I'm gonna go with that.
So this
I'm
is.
gonna go with raise your hand. Yeah.
Okay.
So
See,
it's
I think some of these are
5-0.
going to be easier than we think.
I think so
agree.
too. And we remember that happened last time when we got
Yep.
down to the closer, it was more, unanimous.
Yeah, because the songs that squeaked through were up against Born to Run or whatever. So
Yeah, exactly.
Not Fade Away or How Can a Poor Man stand such times and live? Not Fade Away. Jesse and Tim and Jaclyn. Okay, so it's 3-2 to Not Fade Away. Detroit Medley and Pretty Flamingo.
So I
Detroit
feel
Medley.
bad that Ed's not here when we, because he was the Pretty Flamingo advocate.
champion,
but
yes.
yes. But I'm Detroit Medley.
Yeah.
Obviously Detroit Medley.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have gone with Pretty Flamingo. But anyway. War or Santa Claus is coming to town? War.
War for sure, but that's hard.
So Tim
I
and
kind of wish the
Jaclyn?
bracket was just. I just wish the bracket was set up differently, where it would be Santa Claus is coming to war.
Yes.
Okay,
Because
so
that would just be, that would look funny on my screen.
Yes.
so to war, and then so Jesse, Henrik, and Steve, Santa Claus.
I'm gonna pick Santa.
Yeah.
Okay. So Santa Claus going to the next round. It's My Life or Who'll Stop the Rain? It's My Life.
I'm still gonna go with It's My Life because of the
Jesse,
previous
Tim.
argument.
And
Yeah.
Steve. Okay, so it's 3-2 to Steve. Animals knocking out Credence.
I think we'll be saying bye to another legend here in a second.
Okay. Oh Boy or Trapped? Oh Boy. 0.
Yeah.
Love you, buddy.
Trapped.
But bye.
Yeah, it's
And
Every-
after advocating for It's My Life so far, I am totally going to be pooping on it next
yeah.
round.
Yes,
Okay, so it's 5-0 to Trapped.
Yeah.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah,
That couldn't be any other way.
Jacob's Ladder or Night Shift? Jacob's Ladder.
I need to itch, but I'm trying to vote. Jeff, so
Night
just
Shift.
Yeah, I mean,
Everyone.
I think it's
competitive vote.
it's one of his modern. Like we talked about, I think that's something that's going to be more and more his.
But it was like such a, it was like a tie break in the last round. Both of them actually were tie breaks in the last round.
Yeah.
Okay. Rave On or Jersey Girl? Rave On. Okay, another one. Jersey Girl.
Once again, I love Ravon. The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band version of that song rocks. But Jersey Girl, man.
Okay,
Jersey
so
Girl.
5-0 to Jersey
Enough
Girl.
said.
Viva Las Vegas. I Don't Want to Go Home. Viva Las Vegas.
Way to go, Jaclyn.
Jaclyn, 1. So then I presume 4 for I Don't Want to
Yes.
Go Home.
Yes.
Okay. Purple Rain or Merry Christmas Baby? Purple Rain.
This one's hard.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Jesse, Tim,
I'm
and
sticking
Henrik.
with Merry Christmas.
and Merry Christmas Baby.
Me too.
Good for you guys.
Okay, so it's 3-2 to Purple Rain. Twist and Shout or Love Me Tender? Twist and Shout. Tim, Henrik, and Steve. So that's 3-2 to Twist and
Yep.
Shout. Dream Baby Dream or Rhinestone Cowboy? Dream Baby Dream.
Always.
Okay, so everyone apart from Henrik.
Yeah.
Nope, that's Rhinestone Cowboy. It's solid.
Mountain of Love or Jolie Blonde? Mountain of Love. Tim. Jolie Blonde.
Lives again.
Yeah, Joey.
Okay.
I think that
so
song's
that's 4.
overperforming very nicely. So I like the version. I just didn't expect it to go this far.
I didn't either. Really was. It just, if it had made one round, I'd been thrilled. I'm just ecstatic.
This land is your land or pay me my money down? This land is your land. Jesse, Tim, and Henrik, and
Yeah.
Jaclyn. So that's 4-1.
Yeah.
We're speeding through this round.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
What becomes of the broken-hearted or just like firewood? What becomes of the broken-hearted? Henrick. Just like Firewood.
Yeah.
Everyone else. Okay, that's the end of. Is that the end of that round?
No, we got one more.
Oh yeah, one more. Sorry, yeah, it's the adverts covering it up.
We have one more where 2:45 needs to win.
This little
Agreed.
light of mine, or 2:45. This little light of mine.
I'm gonna vote my just token. I love that
Okay.
song, but yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Feather
so
Baptist
Jesse got
roots.
that.
Yeah.
And everyone else for 2:45.
Good.
Yes.
So we're down to
The last
the Elite Eight.
16.
No, 16. All right.
Sweet 16.
All right.
And
we're
I don't.
gonna-
I think this one will be pretty quick as well.
Yeah, so we're going to stop here. We'll come back. We'll do the Sweet 16 and finish up. Tim, Chris, Henrick, Jaclyn, Steve, thank you. We'll be back shortly.
Perfect.